Hello, this is Dr. Don Paris, a retired professor of special education for 38 years and a consultant in 281 Connecticut schools since 1973. Providing classroom management assistance during 2016, I observed a number of serious issues that are affecting student achievement and teachers' overall professional competence. One of these issues, teacher mental health, is presented in this 2017 podcast because of its serious impact on the overall quality of public education in our country. Whether conducting professional workshops or providing personalized coaching, a majority of the teachers are experiencing a rising level of mental health stress. The vast majority of the 74 teachers I observed this year expressed concern about their psychological welfare regarding federal and state mandates, parental expectations, and obsession with testing. Student readiness to learn, achievement gap problems, Common Core modifications, and evaluation standards, among others, further complicated their performance. Inadequate university preparation, placement in chronically failing schools, and intense accountability measures erode teachers' commitment and feelings of accomplishment. Unless remedial action is taken, burnout and resignations will continue to sacrifice a staggering number of critically important educators. In particular, three primary factors are universal indicators of this national dilemma. First, family dynamics reflect a decline in parental involvement for preparation of their children's school readiness and personal accountability, a trend continuing into the future. The task of educating this generation of diverse learners has become dramatically more complex than in prior decades, especially regarding the achievement gap problem. Thirdly, schools are challenged by both students' academic readiness and socialization deficits, profoundly impacting educators' personal performance and their welfare. Unfortunately, a combination of multiple stressors are prevalent across the nation's school districts that directly impact teachers' ability to cope with these factors. While these issues vary between affluent suburban communities and depressed urban centers, this list represents an overview of the variables identified in the current research on this topic. First, student social cultural diversity demographics. Second, student achievement issues, Common Core. Third, students' behavior issues. Fourth, limited resources, support personnel. Fifth, inclusion, no child left behind. Sixth, parental neglect and conflict. 7, public disrespect and societal indifference. In general, early career teachers are most influenced by items B and C, academic issues, and student behavior problems, especially in grades 6 through 12. Lacking sufficient training or experience has a dramatic effect on young teachers' productivity and satisfaction, particularly in underperforming schools, which exist everywhere, obviously including Connecticut. Creating differentiated lessons while managing behavioral disruptions is a prevalent complaint in these teachers, which often results in burnout and resignations. Nationally, approximately 40% of beginning teachers voluntarily leave the profession within 5 years, a catastrophe for this country. Veterans, by contrast, rely on their reputations and developed instructional strategies. Their stressors are typically items F and G, a function of conflicts with greater societal demands and parental engagement. Premature retirements are increasing for mid-career teachers in response to these expectations. It is inevitable that this list of stressors will expand to reflect school reform initiatives. In lieu of these factors, Billions are spent attracting capable individuals to a teaching career, a major challenge to compensate for the surge in the retirement of veteran educators. Unfortunately, nearly 40% of education graduates never enter the profession, instead choosing careers that promote lucrative self-gratification. Teaching is perceived as a less prestigious option, defined by insufficient financial compensation, political criticism, and societal apathy, placing idealistic, humanitarian graduates in schools with diverse issues, limited resources, and rapidly shifting obligations will deflate even the most talented prospects. This is an obvious contributor to the shrinking pool of viable candidates for an occupation that requires altruistic motives. A national agenda to amplify the benefits of a career in education is mandatory to reverse this trend. Otherwise, the nation will fail to graduate competent, socially conscious adults prepared to enter into international competition. Initially, schools must create an inviting community of policies and procedures that promote security and collegiality to nurture teachers' psychological sense of belonging. Faculty require a structured, predictable, appealing environment that minimizes confusion and miscommunication. Everyone should understand established protocols regarding academic standards, curricular design, and lesson presentation options. Adopting Common Core goals, by example, has created a major alteration of standard instructional practices to emphasize group learning and technology. A student-oriented environment is also crucial to instill a positive attitude toward achievement and social behavioral responsibilities. Teachers' classrooms should complement students' cultural backgrounds and age-related interests. Investing energy in creating attractive, motivating spaces ultimately promotes a feeling of mutual respect between staff and students, which greatly diminishes stress. Middle school students are particularly receptive to this investment, which decreases their excessive socialization to manipulate teachers' composure. High schools must allocate more attention to this task instead of segregating subject area specializations that rarely interact. This restriction reduces the natural interactions between faculty and students that are essential for fostering cooperation. Additionally, strategies are necessary to lessen the conflicts associated with teachers' isolation and powerlessness, especially managing behavior. The reality of being alone with classes of needy, undisciplined students typically produces frustration and anxiety, a result of inadequate classroom management training. Reliance on reactive consequences, like office referrals and detention, is a symptom of these classrooms. This pattern is prevalent throughout many schools with unacceptable rates of misbehavior. Eventually, daily exposure to unresolved episodes of discipline fosters emotional vulnerability that gradually damages self-esteem. A pattern of student manipulation provokes a sense of deflation and anger that decreases the joy of teaching. University preparation rarely examines this interaction of teachers' personality traits and their stress tolerance, a fundamental misjudgment that must be resolved. In fact, prospective teachers are typically selected based on their academic credentials, especially for teaching in secondary schools. Beginning teachers are particularly sensitive to this dilemma because of their inexperience and focus on mastering instructional techniques. Without input from colleagues and administrative interventions, coping with misconduct is often a primary cause of teacher mental health. I have routinely observed this situation on multiple occasions during 2016. Assisting individual teachers' mental health needs involves a coordinated system of school-based resources in combination with community interventions. Administrators should be visible, approachable, and empathetic regarding their teachers' unique psychological requirements. Daily encouragement, complimentary visits, special privileges, and school-wide recognition are extremely effective gestures to nurture staff. Monthly group meetings to address persistent building complaints convey a message of proactive leadership while showing the opportunity to vent frustrations. Private office conversations foster trusting relationships to explore multiple solutions to chronic stressors. Offering district counseling and access to mental health services should be an automatic option for all staff. The national agenda to improve public schools' productivity is being plagued by the seriousness of teacher mental health problems. Until school districts attend to this matter, the rate of staff dysfunction and turnover will continue to disrupt student achievement, an intolerable outcome for 21st century education. In response to this problem, my innovative teacher mental health training combines a workshop format with personalized coaching to empower teachers' psychological and emotional self-awareness. A PowerPoint module and instructional videotapes are utilized to present a proactive system of strategies that neutralize classroom management stressors. New teachers in particular should attend this training to begin a successful career. Recent sessions in various schools have received extremely positive evaluations. Please scan the session outline for details. Thank you.